When did Voldemort meet Nagini, and was she in her human form? For a long time, the fandom has just believed that Nagini and Lord Voldemort met sometime after 1981, maybe in an Albanian forest. We know that by 1994, he had met and turned Nagini into a Horcrux, using the murder of Bertha Jorkins. And most of the fandom seems to believe that this initial meeting would be Lord Voldemort meeting Nagini in her snake form. But with all the new information concerning the Fantastic Beasts series, I believe they had a meeting much earlier, and I don't believe that that meeting was by complete chance. I do believe that Nagini was in her human form, or at least able to switch willingly between human and snake. It makes much more sense for Nagini herself to intentionally seek out young Tom Riddle Jr. So I'd like to go over my top 3 theories on how Voldemort met Nagini. The first theory is wild, the second theory has potential, and the third theory might just be the one. So before we start, let's get the facts in order, and there's really only 4 that we need to know. Number 1, Nagini is a Maledictus that was born in Indonesia sometime prior to 1927. Number 2, during the crimes of Grindelwald set in 1927, Nagini forms a bond and a close friendship with Credence Barebone at the Circus Arcanus. Together they flee, and Nagini joins Credence in his quest for self-discovery. At the end of the movie, Credence is persuaded to join Grindelwald, leaving Nagini on her own. She's last seen at Hogwarts. Number 3, 10 years later in 1937, she does not appear, nor is she mentioned in The Secrets of Dumbledore. And number 4, in the year 1994, she becomes a Horcrux for Lord Voldemort. So from 1927 until 1994, we have no clue what happened to Nagini. That's 76 years where she's just not mentioned. Let me ask you a question. Do you think that a character who was strongly associated with Aurelius Dumbledore, and that was last seen at Hogwarts in the year 1927, just disappeared and had nothing to do with our main characters until she randomly slithers by Lord Voldemort in a creepy Albanian forest in the year 1994? There's no way. Why would J.K. Rowling create such an interesting backstory for Nagini just to have it go nowhere? Nagini is invested in the Dumbledores and their story. She's so involved that I have a totally different theory titled, Did Aurelius Dumbledore and Nagini have a child? But besides that, she was literally last seen at Hogwarts. She's just standing there, and one can clearly assume that she's invited in or perhaps talks with Albus Dumbledore. This leads us to theory number 1. I believe Nagini met Tom Riddle Jr. at Hogwarts or just prior to Tom's first year in 1938. Tom Riddle says to Dumbledore, quote, "I can speak to snakes too. They find me, whisper things. Is that normal for someone like me? Speaking to snakes is one thing, but to say they find me. Why are snakes seeking this boy? How did they find him? Snakes just so happen to be finding the heir of Salazar Slytherin? Or perhaps they're being directed to seek the only living heir of Slytherin, the only person that has the power to open the Chamber of Secrets. We all know that Harry Potter can speak to snakes, but they're not